Everyone, remember this. Do not lift your wrist upwards like this. Can you see this clearly? Don't do this. It's kind of like wiping glass. It's similar to the motion of a windshield wiper. This is very important. Many people use their wrist incorrectly. They like to move it like this. Let me show you what happens if you move it like this. How does it feel? When you're playing in a match, you'll find that the paddle often hits the table, especially on half-long balls. See that? If my wrist moves like a windshield wiper, I can handle half-long balls much better. Being able to loop half-long balls well is the sign of a top player. Just like I said earlier, have you noticed Lin Yun-Ju's progress? Where has he improved? Which technique? Let me tell you. For example, he is left-handed. Many times, players like Ma Long, Fangbo, and others target his weaknesses during matches. His backhand loops all over the table are very strong, but he used to have one very fatal weakness. His grip was heavily backhand-oriented. You can see this in the old Lin Yun-Ju. His forehand down-the-line shots were not very effective. Why? Because of his backhand-biased grip. Many players exploited this. They served to his forehand short corner. He could only loop with his forehand. Although he could land the shot, anyone capable of competing with Lin Yun-Ju is at a high level, especially in the national team. Now, if your wrist moves like this, and since he is left-handed, let's reverse the perspective. Imagine I'm right-handed. This means I can only loop towards my right side. This means I can only loop cross-court. As his opponent, this makes it easier to anticipate his shots. It's very predictable. If I do this, and I loop cross-court, it sets up the opponent, a right-handed player, for a pivot attack. Most of the time, his opponent serves the ball and immediately waits at the pivot attack position for the return. So you can see players like Fangbo and Ma Long, in critical moments, they never serve this ball at the beginning or in the middle of a game. Most of the time, it's at a score of 10-10 or 9-9 when they serve this ball. But you'll notice, Lin Yun-Ju has now adjusted by positioning the paddle. At the second joint of his middle finger, his wrist is now open. His grip is no longer overly focused on the backhand. Now, with his forehand, he can hook the ball or wipe it. He can also wait for the ball a bit and wipe a straight shot. At this point, players who are prepared to pivot attack will completely miss the shot. Because of this, they leave a big gap. This is Lin Yun-Ju's most significant technical breakthrough this time. This relates to today's topic. It applies to penhold players as well. They also just need to open their wrist. Just open your wrist. Actually, penhold grips don't have this issue. With the penhold grip, the wrist naturally opens up. See? Do you see? The wrist naturally opens with the penhold grip. This lesson is mainly addressing shakehand players. Many students have this misunderstanding. Got it? Now, let me show you. As I just said, many people have the habit of raising their wrists. You shouldn't do that. After positioning the paddle at the second joint of the middle finger, the wrist moves like a windshield wiper. Let me demonstrate. Hit first, then loop with friction. The quality is very high. This is why Jockey House forehand is like delivering a slap. It's incredibly powerful. If I let my wrist drop like this, the shot follows a very direct trajectory. It doesn't have the feeling of delivering a slap. If there were a speed tracker, you'd notice two different speeds. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. One is with a drooping wrist. If I wipe with the wrist, the speed is much faster. And the sound of hitting through the blade is different, right?
角度快看哦，这球竟然打得到啊！角度非常的小，12-10。马龙这球拿得非常的精彩啊！再看到带到侧边去，侧身压过去得分。这一局拿下了胜利。我们休息一下广告之后再
去做设计、挖洞、挖陷阱这样的表现。 然后所以会觉得说，现在刘诗雯在等球好像没有像以前这么准，这么有时间在那边等。但是在这场比赛可以看到。
By joining my membership, you can watch more than 10 videos in advance and access 30 professional tutorial videos by Fangbo. I will continue to update a members-only video every week. These videos cover everything from beginner basics to advanced techniques,
because it's possible for him to push it to your forehand area,
ensuring you'll find the skills you need. The cost ranges from $1 to $3, depending on your region. Thank you all for your support.